Hello, much love, namaste to you. Thank you for checking out this video. Today we're going to be talking about your inner demons, the shadow side, facing it head on, and in doing so, overcoming it. So I'm sure that you all have experienced the tight grasp that these inner demons seem to have on us sometimes. We read spiritual texts, or we watch videos like this, or we listen to a self-help motivational speech and we feel really good. And we know how we want to feel, and we know how we want to think, and we understand the concepts. But then it's like we're triggered, or sometimes out of the blue, an old demon comes and grasps onto us so tightly, and it's like all we can see is this tunnel vision of this old fear or anxiety or worry or old mental pattern, or we get stuck in a habit that we've been trying to shift. And it feels like this force is so strong. And we lose our power. We feel almost powerless against it sometimes. And there's actually biochemical shifts that happen within our brains whenever we do, and within our bodies whenever we do fall into a state of anger or fear. And so these demons, these shadows, are very real. They very much have a grasp on us. So knowing that there's actual biochemical shifts that we're going through, knowing that we might logically, cognitively understand the way that we want to think, the way that we want to behave, what's in our highest and best good, but there's a power that feels greater than we are sometimes. Not all the time, but sometimes, that just grabs us. Knowing this, feeling and experiencing this, how do we then welcome these demons, transcend them, and dissolve them, get rid of them permanently? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about. And this is going to be a part of a series in October. October is, associated with Halloween, so I wanted to bring some lightheartedness to some pretty serious topics. And I got this idea through talking with a colleague and good friend of mine, David Cohen. We have a monthly support group that is donation-based to help people who are going through shifts and changes try to navigate through some of these energies. And we were talking about the energies going on, and we were saying, it seems like sometimes we're feeling so good, but then something will happen, some small thing will happen, and it just like sucks us right back in. And then you have that self-judgment, that feeling of, I should have known better. I'm better than this. I know better than this now. Why can't I just overcome this? And so I was very called to do this series of videos to give us some space, to give us a platform to really explore these shadow sides, these demons, in a safe space and help you cultivate that safe space within your own reality. And so if you're interested actually in hopping on the next call with David and I, like I said, it's donation based, and the link is going to be below in the description to join. But I want to start this video with a Tibetan Buddhist story, and it's about a yogi saint who lived, this is thousands of years ago, and so he was living as a hermit in a small cottage on the side of a mountain, and he would go for long walks every day. And so one day he returned home, and he found that there were 7 demons who had moved into his home. His first response was to demand they leave, for this was his home, and they had no right to be there. He cried out in a loud voice, and immediately 3 demons disappeared, but 4 remained. He once again shouted for them to leave. Still, these 4 demons remained. He then realized that he needed a different tactic. So he smiled and said to them, "Welcome to my home. All I have is yours." Whereupon 3 of these 4 demons then disappeared, but the last demon, the biggest, the ugliest one of them all, remained and continued to rampage throughout his house. At a loss for what to do, he finally said, "You may not have only my home, but you may have my life as well." He walked up to the demon, proceeded to place his head inside the demon's mouth, and the final demon disappeared. And so this story really speaks on how we handle our demons. Some we can just be stern and say, I am not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to pick up another cigarette after today, use my willpower, boom, that demon is gone. And so that's how we get rid of some, right? But not all. And I think that's where we get stuck a little bit. You know, we see these demons, we were able to get past some of them with this like brute force. And maybe that force is through meditation. Maybe it's through affirmations. Maybe it's through cognitive behavioral therapy. You know, you're able to get rid of some, but why can't you get rid of these others? And that is whenever you have to come up with a different tactic. So remember that 4 of them disappeared with the brute force. But then, for the other ones to disappear, he had to almost welcome them in, make them feel comfortable. And that's where we feel vulnerable, is saying, looking at our demons, saying, hey, anxiety, come in, let me see you, sit on my couch, let me give you some tea and some snacks, and let's talk. Let's have this conversation. Because all these demons, all this shadow side really is, at the core of it, is an energy. It's an energy that wants our attention for one reason or another. And so when we give ourselves the space to see it for what it is, and to not try to fight against it, but rather do what seems so counterproductive, but is what we actually need to do, we invite it in. We invite it into our consciousness with hospitality. And we ask, what would you like to talk about? And then that demon dissolves, and what I've found is it dissolves into, a lot of times, like an inner child wound, a past feeling, a past thinking pattern that wasn't apparent at first. So how do you do this? What is the practical way to invite space into your home and welcome these demons in? Well, first, you have to kind of expand past what you're going through. So let's give an example of you are feeling very worried about something. And you have this worry demon, and then you have your natural inclination is either to listen to it and kind of get swept up in the worry, and then that demon really has a grasp on you. Or if you fight against the demon, you're kind of like, okay, cancel these thoughts. I know they're not rational, but then it's like you're fighting. It's like a fist fight against the demon. Instead of that, you open up space and you say, okay, I'm feeling worried. How's that feel? What am I feeling in my body? Where am I feeling it in my body? And it's you, from coming from this bigger space, that demon can't have a hold on you anymore because you are now greater and bigger than the demon. So you're able to locate where it is. Okay, what's going on in my body here? I feel it in my chest. I feel it in my stomach. What's really going on? Like, what's underneath this worry? And maybe that's feelings of fearing failure. Maybe that's feelings of not being worthy of success, fearing that other people will judge you. And can you get a little deeper into that? Like, okay, demon, like, I understand that this is coming from fearing others are going to judge me, but what's beneath that? Is there a place where this stemmed from? And maybe then the demon will tell you, yeah, from 2nd grade in the cafeteria, whenever you were really brave and you tried to show a new skill that you had, and the kids laughed at you. That is where it's coming from. And then from this greater place of expansion, you can allow that worry to be there. You can allow that fear to be there, but you can love and nurture it. And that is how you grow past that worry. And you can do this anytime that you are feeling the grasp. So the number one thing you don't want to do is judge yourself. So let's say that you are in the habit, you have a habit of really kind of being addicted to sugar. The worst thing that you can do with that demon, the sugar addiction demon, is to judge yourself every time you have a candy bar or kind of do that internal battle. But instead, recognize, okay, I'm having a really strong craving for sugar, and I just binged on 3 candy bars, and now I don't feel good. But what is this feeling? Let's open up for this feeling. What am I trying to really get from eating this candy? And then you get the response from the demon, I just want to feel good. I just want to feel better. I'm not happy with my life. I'm not happy with a certain situation in my life. Please just help for one moment. Allow me to feel better. And coming from that place, it's not a demon. There's nothing to punish yourself for. It's just your natural energy trying to comfort yourself through a tactic that does work very momentarily, but it does, and it has worked for you. So you open up the spaciousness for it. And over time and over repeated practice, that's when the demons start to dissolve. And that's kind of like the last demon in the story. So the last demon wouldn't go away. You know, this is your biggest demon. If you can think of what it is, if you can just bring to the top of your mind, if you know it, what's your biggest struggle? What's the biggest thing you've been resisting against? You just want to go away. For me, mine's anxiety. So maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's a mental pattern, maybe it's a judgment. And you fully embrace this by allowing yourself to fully feel it unconditionally. So there's a quote that you love yourself unconditionally by allowing yourself to feel unconditionally. So you go into that demon's mouth. And if this involves any sort of trauma, do not do this by yourself. Do this with a counselor. Okay, this is for not deep core wounds. You know, with those deep core wounds, you need the support of somebody else to make sure that you're safe in doing this emotionally and physically and mentally. But if you can get into the mouth of that demon and see it for what it is and say, here I am. Give me all the judgment thoughts that you want to. Give me all the anxious thoughts. Let me feel the anxiety in my body. And again, this is not if you have a panic disorder or anything like that. This is non-clinical experiences. What you realize by giving your whole self to it is it's no longer fun for that demon to judge. It's no longer fun for that demon to be anxious. And you can see it for what it is, and you expand past it once again. So it's like you have to go, what's the expression? You have to go, to get out, you have to go through. So it's like going through what you've been resisting, what you've been judging, what you've been pushing against, what you've been hating maybe the most. And saying, here I am. And I'm going to just experience this unconditionally. From a place of this more expansive view, this higher awareness, if you can. And over time of doing this, and over time of giving yourself love, then the demons just naturally dissolve. This is a constant practice because we've developed demons, a lot of demons, and some of them are very strong. Some of them you can do this one and done. You know, I've been going through this process for a little while now, really embracing everything, and what I've recognized are some things, once I go in, once I see it for what it is, once I give myself nurturing and love and allow myself to feel, that demon's gone, and it doesn't come back, and that's amazing. And then there's some bigger ones that you have to continue to just sacrifice yourself for, to just be over and over and over and over again, and that demon loses strength. Every single time you do that, that demon loses strength. So I want to do just a little reflection, sort of guided meditation, and you can, if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, do so. It's something you can also do if you're walking or if you can't close your eyes at the moment. Now, I am an energy healer, so at the same time as I guide you through this, I'm going to just be flowing some energy to you And you may feel it, you may not. So let's just do a little meditation. If you can, close your eyes. And I want you to bring to mind a demon that you are ready to face. And just notice what comes up. Allow any thoughts or feelings to come up to be there. Where do you feel it in your body? Where is this demon living within you? How does this demon like to try to trick you? What does it say to you? Now, can you go beneath this demon? What is the feeling underneath the surface feeling? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Feeling unworthy? Not feeling good enough? Not feeling deserving of love? Being fearful of love or intimacy? Fearing judgment? Fearing other people? And how does it feel now that you can see what's underneath of it? There's no right or wrong. Just experience it. Is there any message, any lesson that this wants to tell you? And through this, nurture this energy. Nurture yourself. Comfort yourself. Comfort the energy that underlies this demon. As many of us find, it was never a demon in the first place. It was just a very scared, shy, guarded version of our younger selves. You can imagine that you are hugging this like you would a child, saying it's going to be okay. You can invite in the energy that this demon that you need right now, maybe that's an energy of strength, of safety, of confidence. And we allow it to be here. And we will continue to nurture it. And continue to nurture ourselves. And you can open your eyes when you're ready and just feel. That was only 4 minutes. What shifted? How was that different? And that's something that you can do all throughout your day. It's something that is a continuous process. And it's something that over time will definitely dissolve that demon that you worked with today. So thank you so much for checking out this video. My name is Rachel. Links about healings are below. Namaste.